Are you ready for a complete and utter surprise? Albertans don't want to leave the CPP. I know. Shocker. Despite the UCP's best efforts at trying to convince people, their little survey that they put out 21 months ago, the one that didn't actually ask if you wanted to leave the CPP, they just put out questions that tried to confuse people. Yeah, we don't want to go. We told you that. But you needed a panel. You needed to bring back this guy. And then you held on to the results. Almost like you didn't want to admit that this was a really piss-poor idea from the get-go, and Albertans wouldn't want to participate. I think it's important to take a look at the graph, and rather than focus on the 63% of people who took the survey who don't want to leave the CPP, let's just focus on the 10% that were pro-Alberta pension plan. 10%. 12 were undecided, and 18 were other. But only 10% of people who took the survey were like, yeah, let the Alberta government fuck us over. Who needs a future? But don't you worry, because the UCP aren't going to be defeated that easily. We need a referendum. While recent surveys on an APP show public opinion may be shifting, we told you from the get-go, hands off our CPP. We will continue to engage with Albertans on this topic, meaning they're going to put it to referendum. Because that would be an excellent use of tax dollars. We have nothing else to spend it on. It's just collecting dust in the vault. Let's have a referendum on something that nobody wants. And one of the funniest things, after a lot of poking and prodding, the government finally released the written responses to the survey. Now, 94,000 people actually did the survey. Yes, no. But 6,239-ish people took time out of their day to provide a written response. The little boxes that they leave for you. I think it's important that we take a look at some of my favorites. Shout out to Steve Boots. I was talking with him last night and he pointed me in the direction. I'm just going to move to a different venue so that I can read some of these responses to you from a place that I think is appropriate. Hang tight. I'm coming to you from a trash can because that's where the Alberta pension plan belongs. Damn, even I make a trash can look good. Anyway, let's get to some of the comments. This is just a libertarian political ploy created by Take Back Alberta crowd on made-up false numbers. Do not engage in APP. I will vote negative for this in a referendum. Don't fuck it up. It's a stupid gamble backed by an unstable and unpredictable resource commodities economy. This is a really dumb idea. This isn't anywhere near being a priority for Albertans. We should stay in the CPP. This is an awful idea and is making us an embarrassment to the rest of Canada. Scrap the APP and keep the CPP. The APP is a change that nobody wants. It only serves to further grease the palms of oil and gas companies. This is the most biased, least useful survey I have ever taken. What a disaster. This is a terrible idea, and the UCP is the last group I would trust with my retirement funds. I will uproot my family and flee Alberta if this is actioned. Your estimate of the asset transfer is insane, and you should not do this. It is clear why the APP was not a central focus of the UCP's campaign in the most recent election. Albertans do not want the UCP's reckless management of our province's resources and future to extend to their pension. Withdrawal from the CPP would be a horrendous miscalculation that will impact our province for generations to come. Keep UCP hands off my pension! Are you out of your minds? The CPP has a demonstrated history of consistent performance and is globally recognized. This whole consideration is a gross mismanagement of taxpayer dollars, and as an Albertan, I'm frankly embarrassed. Do not establish Alberta pension! No, no, no! I will move to another province if Alberta takes over a pension plan. And one of my favorites, leave it the fuck alone, you stupid morons. Those were just some of the comments. There were some in favor, don't get me wrong. Some of the ones in favor, though, I don't know that they understood the question, because the comments didn't make sense, much like the Alberta pension plan. I mean, put out stupid surveys, get stupid responses, right? Anyway, we don't want an Alberta pension plan, just like we don't want to separate. But this government is hell-bent on having referendums because they want to hear from the people. Apparently, survey results, which they use to their benefit when it supports their causes, are insufficient for them to decide that, you know what, maybe we should shelf this. Maybe we've wasted enough money on this. Maybe we should consider things that are more important, like not fucking up healthcare, bargaining in good faith with, I don't know, government workers, healthcare, teachers. Nah. We're going to waste tax dollars on a referendum for a thing that only 10% of Albertans want, according to their survey. Way to go, UCP. Maybe just walk on over to the trash can and throw it in there, like where you'll all be next election. Garbage.